morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids. Ugh. And welcome to season 4 and episode number 485 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Yeah. Today, recording day, is Monday, October 7th, 2024. And it has been a weird day here at the Beaver Lodge. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver Ray, and with me, as always, is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. Big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. It's going to be a very, very, very quick one for you, us today, kids and cubs, because it's first day of curling and I've got a hard out in exactly 30 minutes. We did try to get on 30 minutes earlier, but as Mr. Grizzly will briefly explain what the heck happened.
Well, each time I tried to load the feed to stream to our YouTube channel, it would turn it off. So 3 times, and I kept hitting it, and I kept adding it, and it kept turning it off. So I had to go in and manually redo everything, create some edits, put a new patchwork in to get us to where we are right now. Why it did this, I have no idea. It took me a minute to figure out what was going on, but it was very frustrating because it kept loading. Like, I think there was about 7 in total. At one point, I kept going in and deleting them to try and get the right feed, but it was able to show on Crier and all of our other socials, but it wasn't showing on our own YouTube channel, which is where, the chat is, number 1, and number 2. We're trying to drive traffic to our channel so we can actually earn money at this. So yeah, it's imperative that we have a feed on our channel because, it's our channel. So
welcome to the Beaver Multiverse.
Multiverse, yes, indeed. It certainly is.
All right, Mr. Grizzly. Aside from that, Mr. Grizzly had to actually literally go and write some code to make this happen. So I never would have been able to figure that one out on my own. How's your mental health today, sir, aside from that?
Better now, but I was very frustrated there for a few moments. Got a bit of a headache right behind my left eye right now. I can feel it starting, and I think it's probably due to the stress of this, the anger over this, and the fact that my coffee is now cold, and I don't have time to make another pot. So,
Mr. Jim says it's probably an update to the YouTube backend.
Could very well be, yes.
All right, kids and cubs. Originally, we were going to do an episode about the launch of the election in the province of Saskatchewan, and I have clips and stuff. But there's not enough time for that. So we are going to focus on, a couple of really dumb things that have happened. One of them, again, if you're in the political circles or if you're following it, if you've been living under a rock, you'd have to have been living under a rock to miss this. But pollster Angus Reid got into some trouble. Now, not as his polling company per se, but him personally. Now, we've talked about him before on the show, and in the context of, I remember Mr. Grizzly, I think you're old enough to remember as well, a time when there were certain professions, such as, let's say, judges
Hmm.
and non-opinion reporters and pollsters,
Yes, yes.
that sort of bound themselves to a standard that if one has personal opinions about certain things that are political, one would keep them to themselves for the
Because
benefit of their industry.
they're in the political sphere. So I mean, look,
A
everybody votes,
journalist is
right?
supposed to seem impartial and neutral. A judge is supposed to seem impartial and neutral. A pollster is supposed to seem impartial and neutral. So, but now we have Twitter, and everybody wants to be a star.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps on saying, well, there's my private stuff and there's my business stuff. But there was a time when these professions, if you had a personal opinion on something political, you could have it, you could vote. You just did not express it publicly, because as soon as you express it publicly, it taints
Hmm.
your supposedly impartial work.
Yes, exactly. It would keep you would keep your personal opinions about something like that to yourself and not announce it to the planet.
Yes. Doesn't seem that we're in those days anymore.
No.
But Mr. Reid, who is in a business that is supposed to be about precision and statistics and getting stuff precisely correct, I don't know him well enough to assume that it is not a mistake. So I will assume it is a mistake. I have got nothing to turn around and say that this was intentional or he believes this stuff. I don't know him that well or followed his feed that well. So reposting some misinformation
Hmm.
would appear that there is sorry, I'm going to double check this, because this has to do with the church, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, it was a church, but it was a
Okay.
deconsecrated church, had been for a
Yes.
number of years, and it was being turned into condos that it was
Okay,
burning.
but
And that was the
that's
video
the
he
thing.
showed.
So yes, so in Trois-Rivières,
Hmm.
there is as it often happens, there are churches that have been deconsecrated, so they're no longer serving as churches, and they're being converted into, multi-dwelling condos, that type of stuff.
Hmm.
And one of these caught fire, and there has been a lot of talk about churches either being vandalized or being burned. And there are some MPs that are trying to pass laws making it, I guess, upping the crime level or whatnot for it, because I mean, it's already a crime to set fire to something, it's arson.
Yes.
Right? But it seems that they want some special provisions or some special protections for that, which is, uh, far from unanimous as a legislative purpose. And a lot of people are also making comparisons. Oh, so, right, for this religious thing, there are special provisions, but
Right.
if if it has something to do with trees and indigenous spirituality, then not, right?
Exactly.
So he shared some video about the event, which was edited, and he shared, I
His opinion.
believe, his opinion on it, which was interesting.
Well, it's since retracted it and issued a half-hearted apology, but his credibility is thrown out the window.
Oh,
And
yes,
I have the tweet right here, and I'll share it on the
absolutely.
screen. I have it right here. This is a screen cap because he's deleted it since, but here's the screen
Yes.
cap. And here it is. He says, so the Ryan Garrettson, who was a special piece of work, Canada is now at 113 churches burned to the ground or vandalized. This is Notre Dame de Sainte Alléglaise Church in Quebec,
Alléglaise.
Canada today.
Yeah.
Angus Reid says, this is so disgusting. In most other countries, this level of arson would be a cause for major national police response. Christian places of worship deserve the same respect and protections as synagogues, mosques, temples, guardas. What has Canada become?
So presenting the assumption that they do not have
Right.
as much protection there. So yeah.
And then, of course, he tweets this. Hang on. This is the follow-up.
Yes.
Edited video to begin with. Alex Zoltan, I don't know who that is, but he calls himself the amazing Zoltan. Trudeau, a mosque was vandalized and we will call out Islamophobia as unacceptable every chance we get. Also, Trudeau, burning down a Catholic church is fully understandable. Well, that's edited video to begin with. And Angus Reid says, shame on Trudeau, completely unacceptable for a PM to legitimize church burning. Yeah, that's 5 seconds out of a 235-second speech. And in that 235-second speech, he talks about how all of that is wrong. All of it. And he says it's understandable. He knows where the anger's coming from. He didn't say it was acceptable.
He said, yes, but that's a very, very, very big distinction here.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was understandable. The anger is understandable.
Yes.
Not that it is understandable to start burning down churches. That's the part that was so. And I believe there was also potentially some information from Kat Kanada's account that he had also forwarded as well, retweeted, which of course is problematic.
She's a Russian propagandist to begin with.
Allegedly. We have to say allegedly because she was trying to sue some Mark Gerritsen who made certain comments, and it seems that he did potentially cross the line and had to retract. So we will just say...
Well, she's allegedly on the take.
Yes, we will say. Allegedly is very important here. Like this.
Yeah,
but she has been in at least one of the videos that were found in the whole Tenet.
Correct.
Thing. Right.
And she was the one on the beach with Nazi Caillou there, Kean Baxt, when they accosted the prime minister while he was on vacation. That was her that flew with him. Yeah. And we have the full clip here of that speech.
Yes, this is thanks to Jason Pugh, who's with us. Great. You should follow him. Pugh.
And just going to get...
Do you have something?
Yeah, I'm just queuing it up here. I just wanted to make sure I had the correct clip before I hit play. Here is the clip in its entirety. It's about 3 minutes and 55 seconds, and it brings it all into focus.
And Alberta this week announced that it's going to be doubling its funding to help protect churches from vandalism and violence. But the Federal Security Infrastructure Program stopped taking applications last November. I know that there is new funding in the budget, so when will the program start taking applications again? And if I may, as a Catholic, what's your reaction that houses of your faith are being targeted for the church's role in the residential school system?
As you know, Ashley, we have put in place a security infrastructure program that partners with places of worship to be able to put in cameras and security systems to keep those institutions safe from what is unfortunately a rise of intolerance and racism and hatred that we're seeing across the country. And certainly we will continue to roll out those funds in partnership with community centers, religious institutions, and others that need that protection. As I've also said, it is unacceptable and wrong that acts of vandalism and arson are being seen across the country, including against Catholic churches. One of my reflections is I understand the anger that's out there against the federal government, against institutions like the Catholic Church. It is real and it is fully understandable given the shameful history that we're all becoming more and more aware of and engaging ourselves to do better as Canadians. But I can't help but think that burning down churches is actually depriving people who are in need of grieving and healing and mourning from places where they can actually grieve and reflect and look for support. We shouldn't be lashing out at buildings that can provide solace to some of our fellow citizens, but we should be every day committing ourselves, each and every one of us, to the hard work we need to do to actually rebuild a path forward that reflects the terrible intergenerational trauma and present-day realities of suffering that we are all collectively responsible for. Évidemment, nous avons des...
It repeats the same thing en français, so there's no need to continue the video from there. But it's like, why won't they show that, the thing in its entire context? Like they just,
Yeah. So it's I don't know why I've gone fuzzy all of a sudden. So it's very, very clear if you're watching the whole clip that he's not saying that it is understandable to burn down churches. So not sure at all what was going on there. Now, Angus Reid is also facing other criticism for other things at the moment as well. So he's sort of like in a perfect firestorm at the moment. Now, of course, he didn't help himself with tweets such as, "My tweet on church burnings and the PM's response stirred up a lot from cons and truanons."
Yeah. Like, bro, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah. "I didn't realize I was tweeting doctored images. Deleted. The burnings are a big issue. On Trudeau, let's see what Canadians have to say in 25. Unlike the video, our elections aren't doctored." Then he also put other retractions. "Yesterday, I retweeted a video of a fire consuming Notre Dame des Sept Allégresses church. Turns out this building hasn't been used as a church for years. Fine, but revulsion isn't about this church. It's about the over 100 burned or vandalized. You'll find scores of videos on CBC." So again, trying to make it work somehow.
Yeah, well, his retraction tweet is a joke. I mean, come on, dude. You're showing us your true colors.
And I'm hopefully I'll be able to get to that one too. For some reason, I'm having trouble finding it. And then Gus, he has another one. "Also, I have a bit of a conflict here. I am a Catholic. I stand with members of other faiths in finding the vandalism and arson aimed at all places of worship reprehensible." You don't have to be Catholic to find vandalism reprehensible wherever it is, particularly in places of worship. However, that's not the question. Nobody is criticizing you for finding vandalism of places of worship reprehensible. They are criticizing you for not being meticulous in what it is that you are sharing and taking the position that if somebody points out that you've screwed up, that labeling people as trunons, a mistake on your part or a lack of thoroughness on your part does not a truanon make of people who are pointing it out.
Well, and then he did watch the whole video, eh? Did you know that? And he tweeted about it. I have the tweet. "Thanks. I watched the whole thing." A woman sent it to him. "Trudeau is continuing to reinforce the hate aimed at Catholic Church, spinning a tale of mass atrocities that has not been proven." So now he's in denialism of residential schools and what those schools did to children. So seriously, Angus Reid? Seriously, dude?
Dude.
You are what we call a racist, old stock Canadian, and you can get on the rocket ride to hell. I'm really trying to rein in my vulgarities here that I want to express, but to hell with you, Angus Reid. Seriously, I hope your entire organization crumbles because you've brought this upon yourself and all of the people in your employ. You're a racist, old, vile piece of human fecal matter. Go fuck yourself.
Jeez, man.
Like, I mean,
Trying to
come on.
justify. I call this trying to be right about something.
He's wrong about everything.
I know, but it's like you did this. Yeah, but there was this. Yeah, but there's just to. I don't want to be 100% wrong, right? I got to be right about something.
Yeah.
So rather than just saying, I fucked up.
Well, sorry, Mr. Jim, when I call him old stock Canadian, the whole reference point is to try and highlight the Stephen Harper justification for racism by saying, well, old stock Canadian. I'm like, no, they're just he's a piece of shit. Angus Reid his polling company is going to crumble after this. At least it should. I can't say that it honestly will, but it should. But that there'll be people coming out of the woodwork to support him.
It really should.
Oh yeah. If you put your hand up to your camera, sir, just really close there, and bring it back, it might bring you into focus. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what happened there. Weird.
Not well, sure. Yeah, it just disappeared on me, and I've been like trying to put it at the lowest resolution as well, and yep, nothing whatsoever. So yeah,
it's just out of focus in the foreground because the background's perfectly in focus, even though it's a virtual image.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really weird to. Oh, there we go. I'm back. Very weird that. Like I said, I don't understand this type of position in a business sense. And I certainly don't understand the position. I mean, clearly, if he's really in the denialism and whatnot like this, then, clearly this is a position that he held from before, and this is just confirming his beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're founded on other than ignorance, but so yeah. Not the best moment for this person. Another person who's not having a good moment is BC opposition leader John Rustad, who for some reason got in trouble with some comments about
Nuremberg 2.0.
Nuremberg 2.0. And oh God.
I have his apology here, or his explanation.
Yes. All right.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. So John Rustad tweets this. I want to take a moment to clarify my position on a critical issue. In a recent interview, I misunderstood the question posed to me and wish to be unequivocal in my response. Any attempt to compare or equate the Nuremberg trials or Nazi Germany to the COVID-19 pandemic is completely inappropriate and unacceptable. The Nuremberg trials were a monumental moment in history where justice was served for some of the most heinous crimes ever committed. To compare these trials, which sought accountability for the atrocities of the Holocaust, to any modern-day public health measures is a distortion of history and deeply disrespectful to the memory of those who suffered. I strongly condemn any such comparisons and reaffirm my commitment to preserving the integrity of historical truths.
Okay. So here's the thing. He said this at an event.
Mm-hmm.
And at the event, the person who was moderating the event or sort of hosting asked out loud,
mm-hmm.
Are you okay for Nuremberg 2.0? A new and bigger 2.0? Oh, sorry? Rustad replied, confused, prompting the anti-vaccine activist to repeat himself more slowly. Nuremberg 2.0? Ah, yes,
Mm-hmm.
Rustad replied. That's probably something that's outside my scope. I know, that's a hard one. I knew it. Ferguson interrupted. I put you on the hot spot right there for sure, but I had to ask. No, it's fine, Rustad replied. Like I say, that's something that's sort of outside the scope in terms of jurisdiction in British Columbia, but if we would certainly be participating with other jurisdictions as we look at those sorts of issues.
So his explanation.
So, I misunderstood the question. Yes, initially you misunderstood the question, but your apology would be believable if not for the fact that after you initially misunderstood the question, the person asking it clarified, and then you very much seem to indicate that you understood quite clearly, quote, Nuremberg 2.0. Yes.
Yeah, I think you understood.
Before answering.
Yes. Yeah. Well, here's a great comment from Just Call Me Eva at So Damn Tired. At So
I
_
love
damn tired.
her.
She's great. Yeah, I've had a lot of wonderful interactions with her. Whatevs, John. You think kids are going to have to eat bugs, and you've made some anti-vax statements. Plus, you call harm reduction safe injection sites drug dens. You're kind of fringe. I'm like, yeah, bro. You lost the plot. It seems a long time ago by the looks of it, too. Like, oh boy.
Okay, so Angus Reid taking doctored information and revealing himself to be a denialist if he hasn't already in the past. John Rustad kind of either signing on to this whole concept of 2.0, and this Ferguson guy who asked the question seems to be one of the spearheaders of that movement, at least within Canada. And then either that's really what he believes, or he's somebody that really, really, really doesn't understand the question and tries to answer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, that's not good. Just saying. When you seek to lead the government and have power over people and the control over the entire purse strings of the entire province, saying whatever to answer a question because you do not want to admit a second time that you misunderstood it.
Yeah, well, here's my response to that.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, I have a photo of a giant grizzly bear holding up its right paw saying, I'm going to have to stop you right there. That was more bullshit than I could handle. Because holy...
Yep. This is not, this is not, not good. And
Nuremberg 2.0 promoters, this is from Luc Lebrun, want to hold, in quotation, trials for crimes against humanity that would be brought against doctors, politicians, police, and more for enforcing and carrying out COVID-19 health restrictions.
Mm-hmm. But some of them want death sentences.
Yes.
For that. So yes, I am less than impressed. Let's put it this way with the choices that we have at the moment. So yes, I do not know what's going on in the overall sort of conservative movement. But as I keep on saying, Kits and Cubs, there is not much actually genuinely conservative and authentically conservative in that which is passing for conservatism these days. It is extremely, extremely concerning that people seem to have these attitudes. And I mean, I know we're saying it. We've said this before. It's like there used to be a time where people that had these attitudes were able to feel shame and knew better than to say it in public. But now they're just like proudly and
proudly showing their violent bigotry or racism or hatred or ignorance or pick a superlative.
Yeah. Now here's another lack of judicious thing. Frank Graves of Ecos actually came out and said of Angus Reid, whatever his personal positions, I've always known the quality of his work to be rigorous and good, because a lot of people are saying, well, there goes your reputation. And then a conservative MP, Rick Perkins, came out and decided to attack, saying, you could only dream of your stuff being as good as his, because conservatives think that Frank Graves is pro-liberal in his polling, and that's a sin. So apparently being pro-partisan as a pollster is a sin, unless, of course, you're Angus Reid. But here it is, the allegedly, according to conservatives, pro-liberal pollster coming to the defense of the allegedly pro-conservative pollster when it comes to the quality of their work. And the conservative response is, you could only dream of your stuff being as good as his, which is like peak PP conservatism, isn't it? right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because even when your party's favorite pollster is being bashed for lack of discernment and judgment, rushing in to attack the guy putting their professional reputation on the line to support them is perfectly reflective of today's version of the Conservative Party, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like,
Angry, nasty, negative, and abusive. We are in a politically abusive relationship, Canada, with
and
our
it's not getting
conservative.
any better.
Ugh. We please, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and New Brunswick, please. You have an opportunity to change the damn diaper, please.
Yes, we're begging you. We're begging you. Do not go down the conservative path again, because every time somebody blames the federal government for provincial government responsibilities and jurisdiction, and you believe them, you're getting suckered because they're lying to you. And I say they, it's Pierre Poilievre, for example. He does this constantly. Even Jagmeet Singh has gotten in on the act. Sorry, they're doing construction here.
We got one more little bit of from that side of things that are, again, questionable judgment and discernment. We spoke a little bit of Kat Kanada
Oh,
earlier.
yeah. I hope she gets sued for this one.
So she puts this picture here.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "She trolled dear leader, ha ha ha." And if you look at this picture, it's sort of like, I guess it's sort of like a graduation,
Yeah, it looks like
this,
yeah.
or just before prom. And there's all these students right now. And this young lady here apparently has her finger up, giving the middle finger. But look how long that finger is.
Yeah, it's badly doctored. It's not even good Photoshop.
Here's the original photo.
Yeah. Hang 10.
She's doing the rock on, hang 10. Or hang loose,
well, one way is rock and roll devil horns. This way is like the hang loose Hawaii.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's just, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I hope that young lady sues the pants off of Kat Kanada for that one.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Kat Kanada is the one that doctored the photo, because she is retweeting somebody called Go Goliath. So I do not know. And the Go Goliath actually put their insignia on the photo right here. So this Go Goliath person, but clearly she helped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she's got a big audience, right? So.
Yeah, she's got a big audience. So either she helped, or like Angus Reid, didn't know that or couldn't perceive that this photo was doctored.
Well, here's the thing. It's not good Photoshop. As soon as I looked at it, I went, that doesn't look right. So I just blew it up a little bit and I go, oh my God, that's bad.
Yeah. So
that's like MS Paint bad on Windows 95.
Lack of discernment. I mean, that, let's put it that way. If that finger was that long, if she played guitar, she could probably wrap it around the neck completely.
Oh yeah, guitar players would dream of having fingers like that. Me, I do. Look, my pinky is too small. My pinky is too small.
Piano players too. Jeez. All right, Mr. Grizzly, do we have a show?
We do, sir, because I understand you got a vamoose, huh?
I get to go hurry hard. I'm so excited. Oh, however, by the way, Kits and Cubs, Kit Michael sends his greetings, because I know that you've been asking for him. Kit Pete also sends some greetings. He's had a little bit of a medical scare, but nothing. I think he's all right, but just a little scare. So he's taking some rest time. And Kit Hugh, because if you've been asking as well, asked me to say hello on his behalf. Nothing wrong whatsoever. It's just that, school's back in session and he's up a little earlier and has to be away a little earlier. So, but he misses you and sends love. So messages of love from kits to other kits there. And they all appreciate you guys saying that you're thinking of them too.
Cool.
So there you go. All right, kids and cubs, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember, sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please, 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 please tell your peeps and poops all about us. It's really important. Okay. Now, if you'd like to help us in other ways, if you would not make sure that you don't miss an episode, you don't have to. I was going to skip right over our pod page. Thanks to our pod page, sponsored by the Ray Girl. That's podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. And when you click subscribe there, when we have something fresh off the bandwidth, it comes directly to you. Now, if you'd like to support us in other ways, make like Kit Elaine and have a beyond awesome day, everyone. And remember to smash the button before you leave. And you do that by surfing on down to the True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube page and clicking on like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate everything that you do there. And also, there's another way you can help us. For example, by going to our coffee page. That's coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. And that's where you will find our tip jar. A few of you have late last week, and I thank you so much. Of course, when we have some time, we'll give you proper credit. But if you would like to join them in offering us a little bit of support and encouragement to keep producing this show for you, hopefully you enjoy it and get a lot out of it, we would be very, very grateful. So again, coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. Leave a little bit of coinage in there and earn our undying gratitude. Now, if you are not able to support us financially, that is not a problem because the gift of your participation and attention is the one we cherish most. So we like to hear from you. Write to us, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com, our Facebook page, True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed @TrueEager, or leave us a comment right here on our YouTube page. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave some stars and reviews. And for those of us who are listening on podcasts, including this episode, we are just 3 behind to being totally caught up. Thank you so much for your patience, but we'll soon be together at the same time and the same place, I promise. Because democracy is something that you do. If you are in Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, or British Columbia, please research your candidates and plan your vote. Plan to bring someone with you. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom? Oh, Mr. Grizzly.
Had to clear my throat there. Kind of bereft of ideas this morning because I'm just so frustrated with all the technical glitches we had today. And honestly, I'm just trying to breathe through it and remain calm. So to that end, if you want to, you can join the ASMR this evening because I will be putting on an episode. I failed to do that last week because I was meeting with some people and the meeting ran quite late. But I'll be doing a show tonight if you want to come and talk about how your mental health is, how you're feeling, and what's going on, and where your headspace is in this current very bizarre timeline that we're currently living in. It'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the nation's capital.
And that QR code that was right up there, you should leave it up there a little bit more, Mr. Grizzly, will help bring you to the page where it will take place. So there you go. All right. And thank you so much, kids and cubs, for your indulgence. You probably noticed by the way that I was speaking, this one was a little bit more fly by the seat of the pants because it was not the show we were intending to do. But hopefully it came off well and you got some good information. We kind of compacted a lot of it in a small bit. But I guess we'll be back tomorrow. Back to our usual selves. All right, Mr. Grizzly, please cue the cock.
Just give me a second here. I gotta open up another page to get to it. I gotta go get into step in.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph something for our opening and closing sequence music.
I have a quick.
Got my curling shoes.
I have something to show you here. Just give me a sec while I pull it up and put it on the screen. For some reason, it seems to be a video of a screen cap, which is weird, but here it is. Vim sent this to me here. This is
Yes.
Kat Kanada with Pierre Poilievre. And the thing says, Russian-backed Kat Kanada, allegedly, holding the poison apple with Pierre Poilievre. No wonder he wouldn't look Zelensky in the eye. Poilievre knows Putin is backing. Well, I mean, it's allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Very, very much allegedly.
With his stolen iconography, his shirt there, the T-shirt, Common Sense.
Oh,
it's the
yes,
Beaver
with the
canoe
Matterhorn.
logo. Yeah, the Matterhorn with the Beaver canoe logo, and yeah. Common Sense. All right.
Love you,
I'll see you.
kitties.